What's up, guys? WaldoDude here, bringing you some Battlefield 1942 on Tobrak. I think I've mainly shown you guys the Allied side on this, so I thought I would do some Axis. This footage is also from a while back, still at 1942 mods. Trying to get those kinks worked out with our server. I think we can make it an amazing server. I really want that to be the case. Last night I was playing on it briefly, and it looked like one of the maps loaded up and it didn't have I didn't even know that was possible. It didn't have vehicles or something. I don't know. I would not have thought this was so hard. These are problems I have never seen before. In years playing Battlefield, I've never known. I didn't even know it was possible to load up like a map. That didn't have vehicles on it. There wasn't a custom map. It's actually not even an option to, by default, to load up custom maps. Plus, I would have thought you would have to download them anyway. I don't know how that would work. So once again, contacted the old customer support. See what they have to say about that. Otherwise, the server is so smooth. It feels so good. I love that it's a central base location. It's the most fair that it can be. We've recently put whatchamacallit, well, we minimized friendly fire because people are complaining about that, and I have to say that was probably for the best. See if I can tread shot this asshole. Oh, his tank is not looking good. He's never gonna know what's coming. We recently decreased friendly fire, and then I hopped on the server tonight, and I saw a lot of people doing a lot of moronic shit, which is really too bad. Battlefield was such a great game, and it's so wonderful, and I think obviously it's obvious that it hasn't aged so well. And you could do a lot of really cool things with this game. If you wanted to redo it again, I really don't know why. It just popped right up on top there. I'm not sure why EA or DICE, whoever's in charge of making that, well, EA would be in charge of making the decision, DICE would be in charge of implementing it. I'm so surprised that they didn't, you know, take their formula here. I mean, this is the game that got them, I mean, this is what blew the Battlefield, I mean, this is what started, right? The reason why we're playing Battlefield 3 today, or why some people are, is because this game was so popular. And I'm so surprised to see that they've deviated so far from the formula that made their game, that did make their game so popular. I think that's really interesting. I suppose they saw those dollar signs on COD and were like, you know, maybe we could make that fucking Skrilla on COD. So they try to do something more like that. But the reason why Battlefield was popular, so Battlefield and Counter-Strike were out, and the two big in the competitive scene, the two big games were Battlefield and Counter-Strike. And the reason why Battlefield was popular, or one of the reasons why it was so popular, is not because it tried to emulate Counter-Strike, it's because it did something completely different. Counter-Strike was sort of like yet another TDM-based shooter, and you know, I've been playing TDM-based shooters for a long fucking time. You know, Blood on M-Player, working my way down Quake, and then, you know, obviously Counter-Strike. I was like, oh, great, more of the same. And Battlefield was so cool because it was a shooter, but as I've said before, with all this extra depth and these layers to it, and teamwork and vehicles, oh, it was just genius. It was this massive breath of fresh air in a genre that had just been beaten to fucking death. And fast forward, you know, almost 10 years later, and it feels like we've taken steps back again. And you know, the shooter genre is difficult to, as far as like competitive or online FPS gaming experiences, it seems like they've kind of, you know, well, COD is doing its thing, but putting out a rabbit hole on that. I mean, that thing has so many issues. God, I don't know where to be. Well, I do know where to begin, but so we've got COD, and that's realistically, I mean, that's pretty much it. There isn't any other game that's come out that has done anything else spectacularly well. I have had a few people ask me to play PlanetSide 2. I haven't downloaded. I think it's a free-to-play game. I have to say that I'm really not encouraged by any game that's free to play. I think that most free-to-play games are garbage. They are shoddily put together. They put them out not with the intention of making a long-lasting, excellent, high-quality game, but they put them out with the intention of hopefully making a couple bucks off that F2P, P2P, play to P to PW, not P to win system, but you know what I'm saying. The you know, free-to-play micromanagement transaction market, which from what I understand in Asia has really taken off, but over in the States, I mean, I don't know what it's doing in Western Europe. I don't think it's done any better, but it really hasn't taken off over here. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens and where we go with it. But it just hasn't really done a whole lot over here. And like I said, that's what it seems to be the focus is getting that quick buck versus making this amazing game. But it is free. Might as well download it, give it a shot. I will do that. I did play the first Planet Side, which also is a very old game. The idea was back in the day to play like this, you know, this open, not like an MMO necessarily, but this massive open world FPS. Not unlike Battlefield, to be honest with you, just on a bigger scale. But in my opinion, Battlefield, man, I really hope people actually listen to this whole commentary because I feel like it answers so many questions. Battlefield is a game that was designed for maybe 12v12, at least competitively. You can get away with a little bit more. You could get maybe 30 players, but you're not going to be going any more than 30 because the maps just aren't set up for that. You know, you only have so many vehicles. You have enough vehicles on most maps to guarantee about a third of the population to be in them at any one time. And I mean, if you want to double the fucking population with that, you just guarantee that most people are going to be running around, you know, spending eons of time going from point to point, not doing a whole lot. Anyway, my point is, Battlefield was a game that was designed for a smaller player base, as you can see me slide all over because I'm an idiot. And it attempted to do 64. What it exceeded at, what it excelled at, was basically 12v12. If we can't make a game today that excels or, you know, crushes the whole idea of like this 10v10 combat, then I think the likelihood of something like PlanetSide coming out that's going to crush, you know, combat on a scale even greater than that is just, it's really unlikely. I would like to see Battlefield come out and go back to its roots, get a grip on this smaller yet still larger than, you know, the typical COD player size, team size thing, right? Go back to the vehicles, go back to tactics and the strategy and smart players, you know, beating out bad players. And then once that works, then we'll see if it's possible to get a game that's even bigger. But it seems like the whole idea of balancing and getting something to work even on a much smaller scale is so extraordinarily difficult, and boggled as to why someone would choose to try to go bigger. It's like some, you know, I don't know. Why bother? It's like someone competing for the Olympics before they've, you know, bothered to master, you know, the old whatchamacallit, the oh, you little sneaky man. Before they bothered to master like the amateur league. So I don't really know. Look at this guy. Yep, just driving right into my fucking tank. Thank you. One of the other things too, I mentioned a few times before here and there, I was actually fortunate enough to talk to one of the lead devs for the upcoming Titan project, who was also originally one of the lead devs on, you know, World of Warcraft. And we talked for many hours. We played a bunch of games together because of friends that we have, mutual friends working at Blizzard. And we were talking about, you know, whether or not people would, you know, what it is that people like about World of Warcraft. And the crux of what we were talking about was if you had two identical World of Warcraft games, one that used basically FPS skills and one that used basically a point-and-click system they have now, which system do you think would be more popular? My vote was that the point-and-click system in WoW might still be more popular, because when you play that big open-world MMO style game, number one, the logistics of doing something like that are just extraordinarily difficult, and two, I think people enjoy MMOs having time played being the single most important factor as opposed to being a contributing factor. Here I am hunting around trying to look for this last guy. Anyway, I think that where is this fucking asshole? Where is this? No, he wouldn't be. Oh, I got a hit rig. He's fucking hiding out in the bushes. That's great. Well, kudos to him for hiding there and stumping so many guys. That was awesome. I think that, anyway, there's a lot of reasons to be hesitant about going beyond the scope of Battlefield, and I think that until someone is able to accomplish a newer, more updated version of a game like this, I think that it seems like it's a very ambitious attempt, to put it lightly, to go anything above. As always, comments, criticisms, critiques. Let me know what you guys think.